would you all please rise and join us in the pledge? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, we've got a nice crowd. Everybody sounded very robust, very healthy. I'm glad to hear. Not sure if crowds are a good thing or a bad thing, but which I'll use that to segue into my discussion of the state. As everybody I'm sure knows, the governor has released his poultry budget proposal, and we are waiting on the state Senate and the state Assembly to make their proposals. However, who knows what's going to happen in terms of timeliness at this point, because there certainly seems the possibility that they will, cancel the session or try to get everybody to work from home. I'm not really sure. Other than that, budget news has been pretty quiet in terms of the state. So that's my news. I will turn it over to Mrs. Burns.
Thank you, Mr. Geller. I usually don't feel this way, but it's actually a relief to talk about budget. So, good evening. Tonight, our featured presentation will be provided by Mrs. Dawn Morrison, making her debut as our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction. She didn't put any pink in it.
I've been really looking forward to this.
But she loves the microphone.
Winner, I mean, no show tunes.
Maybe next year.
She's going to speak about curriculum, athletics, fine arts, special education, and the technology budgets. First, however, I would like to provide a brief summary of the first draft of the 2020-2021 school budget. It will be posted on the district website tomorrow morning, so you can find it there. So, as you know, we are faced with a tax levy limit, which is the lower of 2% or the consumer price index. The average annual CPI, annual change in CPI for 2019 was 1.81%, making the allowable growth factor 1.81% for 2020-2021. After accounting for the allowances in establishing the tax levy, West Islip is faced with an allowable levy limit increase of 2.01%. So we're hovering right around that. People commonly think it's the tax levy limit. So before we move into the curriculum discussion, I would like to share that our current projected class sizes, but caution you that we're still in the process of enrolling our kindergarten students. Additionally, there will be adjustments based on some of the needs of our students, the various class assignments. We still are about to go, or we are going through the CSE, CPSE processes. Some of our students will attend special education programs outside of their home schools, but within the district. Others may attend schools outside of the district. And this is a very, very fluid situation, and not all of those changes are reflected here. But as you know, there will be variations to the projections, and as there are, the staffing will be adjusted accordingly. This is as of today. These are the projected average class sizes for the 2020-2021 school year. The numbers projected for kindergarten are the high numbers. So assuming that all of the registrants actually, or potential registrants actually report, that is what we project our kindergarten numbers to be. I'm pleased that we're able to maintain these levels while presenting a budget that supports a well-rounded instructional, socio-emotional, and extracurricular program, as well as addressing some of our facility technology security needs. As I've mentioned in the previous work session, we monitor these numbers very, very closely throughout the spring and summer, and there can and will be adjustments made based on the CSE, CPSE processes, and that happens practically on a weekly basis. We do have 2 retirements within our elementary tenure area. We do anticipate replacing both of those teachers, and they are included in these projections here. So there is no change, plus or minus, in the actual number of teachers that we project here at the elementary level. Okay, I am going to turn the presentation over to Mrs. Morrison, and she has an exciting thing.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome and thank you for being here this evening for the 2020-2021 Curriculum and Instruction Budget Presentation. I would like to acknowledge the principals, the directors, and the assistant principals for attending this evening and for their assistance with compiling all of the information that I will be sharing with everyone this evening. From the pre-K classrooms in our elementary schools to the IB and AP classes at the high school, the students of West Islip are provided with a robust curricular program along with vibrant athletics and a myriad of extracurricular activities. For the 2020-2021 school year, all programs, resources, and activities will remain in place. We will start this evening with information and instructional technology. The focus of the Information and Instructional Technology Department is to provide district stakeholders with reliable, sustainable, and up-to-date technology that supports the academic advancements of our K-12 students. The information displayed in front of you encompasses the goals for next year. Maintenance and necessary upgrades to our infrastructure, which is ongoing to support all of the additions that we bring to technology each and every day. The replenishment of devices utilized by our students and staff. What I'm really talking about here is the desktop computers that are attached to our smart boards in all of our classrooms. Insurance costs to protect our one-to-one devices, the Chromebooks that the students and staff work with each day. Professional development that ensures effective use of technology in the classroom. We do want to make sure that as we are implementing technology into the classroom that we are doing so in an effective manner that works best for our students. This will also include software that allows students and teachers the opportunity to engage in flipped classroom experiences. And we are also looking to add one additional support staff member to help keep pace with the ever-expanding needs of the IT department. Significant and ongoing enhancements to technology throughout the district has led to an increased need for support. In 2016, the district had 313 Chromebooks. In 2020, we now have 5,128, and each one of those devices requires upkeep, maintenance, troubleshooting, and does take a lot of time. In 2014, we had 224 smart boards in our classroom and instructional spaces. Today, we have 325. Another area of instructional technology that does take up a lot of time and a great deal of effort is data privacy and cybersecurity. I would like to thank Mrs. Fulton and the IT team for their continued advancement of instructional technology in the district. We've really come a great long way in the last few years, and Mrs. Fulton, your work is greatly appreciated. The district continues to keep the mental health and physical wellness of our students a top priority. The majority of high school students fulfill their health requirements in 9th grade. A recent review of the health program by Mr. Haran and his staff evidenced a need for additional opportunities for students to discuss the broad range of health issues relevant to young adults today. So in response to that, we have added a teen health and wellness class to the high school with no additional cost to the district, as it will be staffed by current teachers. The addition of the teen health and wellness class will provide opportunities for health teachers to work with our students in either their junior or senior years. Also included on this side are noted replenishment supplies in the health and phys ed area. West Islip is well known for our outstanding athletic program. All current athletic teams and extracurricular activities are maintained in next year's budget. In addition, we have added intramurals at the elementary level, soccer goals at Udall Road Middle School, and an online athletic registration and data management system. I spoke with Mr. Haran yesterday. He explained to me that it will help with students signing up for teams, tracking our immunizations, providing updates to parents, maintaining our health records. So we are looking forward to getting that system in place and streamlining the process. Mr. Haran continues to keep all equipment and supplies related to athletics on a replenishment cycle to ensure student safety, up-to-date resources, and pride for our scholar athletes and coaches. In the area of special education, we are currently supporting the academic, social, and emotional needs of approximately 752 special education students. This is a decrease from approximately 50 students from last school year. The numbers fluctuate on any given day based on newly classified students or those students that may exit out of the program based on progress that they make. Mrs. Dowling, Ms. Doherty, the district's 78 special education staff throughout the district collaborate on a daily basis with the building principals to ensure that all of our students' needs are fully addressed and met in the least restrictive environment.
Mrs. Morrison?
Yes.
Can you just tell me, those numbers that we're looking at, are those inclusive of all students being educated here in West Islip, or are they including students that are being educated outside of West Islip?
They are inclusive of all of our students.
Thank you.
In some cases, our special education students will require instructional programs and learning experiences outside of the district. In other cases, they may need additional support within the district to stay in the least restrictive setting. Special education costs each year are dictated by the needs of the students, and before you are the projected costs for next year, as well as what we are currently operating on. The projected costs are down slightly from last year, from this year, for next year.
And then the slight bump in the BOCES line, is that something that's
The
just
slight bump in the BOCES line is really just what our projections are for the needs of some specific students. If you would like to know additional information, I can get that to you.
I was just curious to know if BOCES cost increased, or is it really just because we're projecting?
The current BOCES is $2,388,000. Oh, it is, yes, it is a decrease actually.
Thank you.
Under the direction of Mr. Allbinder and a talented group of music and art educators K-12, West Islip music and art programs continue to remain standouts among school districts island-wide. All current music and art programs are maintained in the 2020-2021 budget. In addition, freshman orchestra will be added to the high school music program with no additional expense. It will be staffed by current teachers. Freshman orchestra will provide 9th grade orchestra students with a more personalized instructional environment as they transition from the middle school orchestra program to the high school program in preparation for upper level orchestra classes in subsequent years. Also included in the music and art budget are software subscriptions that will provide all secondary band, chorus, and orchestra students with opportunities to practice at home and get feedback from their teachers. Students can sing, they can play instruments into various applications, they can send it directly to their teachers can then provide some critiques and feedbacks on it while the students are home. As also noted on the slide, Mr. Allbinder continues to keep all equipment and supplies related to music and art on a replenishment cycle to ensure effective learning experiences and up-to-date equipment, instruments, and supplies for our students and staff. Ongoing professional development is essential in order to ensure that the instruction necessary to effectively implement and convey the state standards and course curriculums to our K-12 students take place each day. As part of the district's PD plan, we will continue to support faculty, staff, and administration with the acquisition of these skills necessary to provide relevant and effective instruction through all curricula areas. For next school year, a focus will be placed on the continued implementation of the next generation learning standards, instructional technology, standards-based grading, mastery learning, mindfulness, and PD that is determined necessary throughout the course of the year. So sometimes things come up, we recognize an area in which professional development is required, and we will go forth with a plan for that time. Pictured up here on this slide, actually, the top picture was our first official big ed camp here in West Isaac this summer at the secondary level, so it's a bunch of the administrators and some teachers. And then down below you can see some pictures of teachers working with the Google Expedition goggles, which are really cool. High school initiatives. The implementation of a virtual enterprise class is proposed in the budget at an estimated cost of $6,000. Virtual Enterprise is a live global business simulation for our high school students. According to Virtual Enterprise, by managing the day-to-day operations of a company, students not only develop business skills and an entrepreneurial mindset, they also identify career pathways that align with their interests, talents, and aspirations. Virtual Enterprise will enable students to develop essential leadership, professional, and core technology skills through its hands-on, work-based learning experiences. School districts throughout the country, including many on Long Island, partake in the Virtual Enterprise experience, and part of the class structure provides schools to be able to communicate with one another in the development of their businesses and products. It's a really great experience for our high school students. Career and technical education classes give students the academic, technical, Career and technical education classes give students the academic, technical, and employability skills needed for post-secondary and workplace success. The high school will expand the opportunities for students to receive CTE credit in the following areas at no additional cost to the district: early childhood education, marketing, business management, accounting, and finance. We are proud to have approximately 350 students taking AP classes and approximately 130 students taking IB classes at the high school. In keeping with surrounding districts, the costs associated with taking the culminating AP and IB exams are proposed in the budget at an estimated cost of $60,000.
Mrs. Morrison?
Yes.
Just before you move on to the next slide, the CTE certificate courses. Are we partnered with
Farmingdale.
Farmingdale?
Yes.
For all of them?
Mr. Volmuth has done an incredible job working with Farmingdale. I believe we are still working through the final processes of the contracts that we need to sign with them, but it is through Farmingdale.
And that's just a partnership with them? There are no fees attached to that or anything? Or is it a credit bearing that we pay for those certificates? How does that piece of it work?
It's credit bearing. The students get CTE credits for that, and I would have to get back to you on that other more specific information in regard to what the actual fees are.
Thank you.
And Ms. Morrison, you're saying that our neighboring districts are all paying for their students' exams?
For AP and IB.
IB did away with the registration fee this year, so a lot of people went in another direction.
Can I get a refund on?
AP exams are $95 each, and IB exams.
Yeah, pay for a lot of them.
Mr. Gerla has to pay for law school. If not,
That's right.
that's
I think
not
this will
fair.
give a lot more students an opportunity to participate that might not otherwise
All right,
happen.
thank you.
The district takes a whole child approach to education, with mental wellness remaining a top priority. We will continue to make the displayed mental health and wellness initiatives a focus for next school year. The committee's support in this endeavor over the past years is greatly appreciated. Thanks to the community support, we now have full-time social workers in every single one of our buildings. We have full-time psychologists in every building, with 3 up at the high school, a part-time school counselor at the elementary level, and various other supports throughout the buildings to ensure the mental health and well-being of our students. A growth mindset, coping skills, and strategies on how to deal with anxiety and negative feelings are part of our core program in mental health and will continue to be a focus at all grade levels. And now the why. Why are we here? Why do we do what we do here in West Islip? And the answer is simple. It's for our children. It's for our students. According to Herbert Hoover, children are our most valuable resource and hope for the future. According to John F. Kennedy, children are the living messages that we send to a time that we do not see. As I traveled throughout the various buildings and classrooms in the districts, the quotes make me wonder, is a student in our high school science research class going to cure cancer one day? Is a middle school musician going to be sitting on the stage at Carnegie Hall? Is the kindergarten student exploring with the iPad for the first time going to be the next Steve Jobs? Which of our scholar athletes will become the next Tom Brady? I know he might not be popular here, but he hasn't. Or will I be sitting at a Broadway show one day and see a familiar face on stage? Tremendous excitement and a limitless amount of opportunity is present for our students in every curricular area throughout the district. Let's make 2020-2021 our best year yet. Before we conclude this evening, I would like to thank and acknowledge the administrators, the teachers, and support staff throughout the district for their dedication to providing our students with the skills necessary to be lifelong learners. In this new capacity that I'm working, I've had the pleasure of being able to be at every level throughout this school year, and it really is amazing each and every day what is going on in our classrooms. Teachers are well prepared, students are engaged, and they are learning lifelong skills that are going to take them far beyond the doors of our West Islip High School. I would also like to acknowledge the ongoing leadership of our Superintendent of Schools and our Board of Education, as well as the support from family, parents, and community members, all of which ensures the continued success of our students as they progress from one level to the next and eventually go to college and careers beyond the doors of West Islip High School. So thank you to everyone. The next slide just shows our dates for future budget workshops, as well as dates for the budget adoption, budget hearing, and upcoming budget vote.
Just so everybody knows, and then I'll open up for questions, but just so everybody knows, we're still, at the moment, looking at about a 1.4.
The gap?
Yeah.
No, the gap is closing with the retirement.
Oh, you started figuring in the retirements at this point. Okay. So what's your number now? I'm sorry? Okay. So we're still, so after figuring in the retirements, we're still looking at about a roughly $500,000 shortfall, and essentially providing our time on this. You know, as I mentioned earlier, the state may turn around with a more generous budget, which might help. Mrs. Burns is rolling her eyes at the prospects of that. I would agree. It's probably not that promising. However, we have kind of touched on the idea, and we will further, of possibly looking at using some of our reserves, which we do have some right now. In the past, of course, it's something that we haven't touched because it's very dangerous to get into using one-time revenues for recurring expenses. What makes it different this year is that we have what will essentially be a one-time shortfall due to losing some bond aid. So this is the reimbursements for our capital aid, building aid, and it will go back up next year. So that's something that we're going to be looking at further as we get closer, again, depending on how the state budget turns out. Okay, questions? Board? No questions from the board. Okay, questions from all of you? No questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
I'm John Howard, okay? I read an outside research company that looks at schools. They say West Islip doesn't have a correct ratio of counselors to students. I didn't bring anything with me, I saw that.
So you're asking, I'm asking about the ratio of counselors to students.
That's right. They said,
Okay.
It's just a little bit lower than the industry average. I think the last time we checked, it was about 240, 243 to 1.
they put a negative sign next to it.
I'm
They put a
sorry.
negative sign next to it when you stated that, you know. there's a shortfall.
No, we're actually right, the recommendation by the Councils Association is 250 to 1, I believe. And we're right in that area. From year to year, it may vary a little bit, but we're right around there, just a little bit lower. So we're in good shape.
That's state average.
That's the state average. But bear in mind what Mrs. Morrison said, that we are far beyond where many of our surrounding districts and other districts across the country are, in the fact that we have psychologists in every building, we have social workers in every single building, so we were lucky enough to be a little bit ahead of where everybody else is as it relates to supporting our students in the mental wellness realm.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, so I didn't mention it, but this was the second of our 4 scheduled budget work sessions, and the next one will be in 2 weeks.
Yes, at which we will discuss facilities and security.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.